Hello, everyone. A little bit of urgent news from our current sky. The planet Mars will very soon be in opposition to Saturn and Neptune. And this is really important. This is really significant. We shouldn't be overlooking this. So the planets Neptune and Saturn have been together for most of the year, and they will continue to hold hands in the sky until next year, pretty much, which is exactly when they meet. So right now, Mars is opposing those two, and this energy will continue to get stronger and stronger. So the window of time that I want you to be paying attention to is from August 4th to August 15th. And within that window of time, especially the most intense days are going to be around August 7th till August 11th. So pay attention to those days, be aware, and let's unpack this. So, whenever Mars forms an opposition to any planet, it can stir conflict and tension and unexpected disruptions. It can even lead to aggression. There's a lot of intensity and volatility here. And this is all happening on cardinal degrees in the axis of Aries, which is where Saturn and Neptune are. They're in the sign of Aries, and Mars will be in Libra. So these are cardinal degrees. So that amplifies the intensity. It makes things, we can feel those things even more, collectively speaking, but also in our personal lives. So these are days where you can feel more emotionally triggered, more defensive, more reactive, more easily frustrated. Things are getting to you more than usually. And you can also sense others around you more reactive, more defensive, more triggered, more easily threatened. So this is a moment where we need to pick our battles wisely. So if there's a conversation that can wait for later, this is a good strategy for the times. And because Saturn has to do with authority figures, this is, for example, our parents, our bosses, teachers, mentors, our landlord, anyone who has a role of authority in your life. This is where the clashes, the issues, the fights, the problems can happen. And this is also you in a position of authority, you as an authority figure. So maybe you are a parent, maybe you are someone's boss, right? So this is you with the authority figures in your life and also you carrying authority in your positions of authority. So, for example, the parent-child dynamics here is huge, and you can feel this with your kids or with your parents even more. The other theme here is relationships and partnerships, especially romantic relationships and partnerships, but really all relationships and all partnerships, business as well, friends, family. So all the relationships in our lives might be a little more triggered because Mars is in Libra, and Libra speaks about the other people in our life. So this energy can also deeply activate our relationship dynamics. Unspoken tensions may come to surface. There's a higher probability for arguments, for miscommunications, for discussions, for one person getting triggered and then triggering the other person. And if we even think about more extreme scenarios, this can even lead to a breakup. And this could be a romantic breakup or a professional breakup or something in the family, like all sorts of relationship issues. Anything that's been kind of simmering, may come to surface and may demand more attention and that you engage with it. So good strategies is be mindful of how you are reacting. And if there is a confrontation, take maybe time to kind of get more clarity and see what's really going on and work with the feelings that are coming up. So maybe there are, I think one good strategy is not every fight is worth having. And this is really up to you to see in your life if it is a fight worth having, if something you really need to acknowledge and confront and work through, or if it's something that can wait, wait 2 weeks until these energies are not as potent, not as strong, and then you have that conversation. All right. So, a word of caution in terms of anything that can put your body to push your body beyond its limits, this is a time for us to really not engage. So, high adrenaline adventures. This is a time where we really need to be cautious because Saturn rules bones, all the structures in our body, so bones, teeth, joints. And remember, Saturn and Neptune are together, and Neptune can help to dissolve the boundaries. So it's a time where we can feel that our foundations are weakening or more fragile, and this is physically speaking, emotionally speaking, energetically speaking as well. So this is something that's been happening. And now Mars opposing this can bring this higher risk for all sorts of things like falling down, sprains, breaking bones, cutting yourself, overextension in all sorts of way, especially older people, older individuals who are more vulnerable to accidents and injuries, and especially involving hips and bones and knees and the spine as well. So if you have an older parent, for example, or an older mentor, if you can get this message to them that it is a time to be more careful, be extra, extra careful. The other thing is Mars rules sharp objects. So anything that penetrates the skin, for example, knives, scissors, broken glass, blades, any surgical tools as well, needles, those are things that we need to be extra careful. And if you're getting a tattoo or a piercing or even undergoing some sort of a medical procedure, check things, check the intentions, check the aftercare, overall safety, all of those things. If you have to travel, maybe it's good to consider rescheduling your plans, especially during that peak window of August 7th to August 11th. So definitely be extra careful. And if you work out, which is a great way because we might be feeling more triggered. So to have some sort of a relief and outlet for this energy, it can be super, super helpful. But be extra careful with intense and extreme workouts. So if it's weightlifting, for example, don't add more weight during this week. If it's martial arts, if it's anything that has that contact quality to it, CrossFit, like all of those things, this is a time where we need to be more mindful, more careful, and really take extra care of our bodies. Another one is slippery surfaces. Be extra cautious around wet floors and hiking and going up the stairs. Anything around stairs, it's very Saturnian. Going up, going down, that sort of thing. Be extra mindful around driving and speeding, don't go too fast. That's a good strategy for this Mars opposition. Do things, adjust your rhythm. If you realize you're going too fast, if you're doing things too fast, too furious, take a step back. Power tools as well, machinery, any risk of accidents involving cutting, grinding, high heat. That's another thing too, because Mars is all about fire. So burning your hands, burning your skin, candles, hot appliances, work with fire, working with hot, like open flames, that sort of stuff. We need to be extra careful. So be careful around stoves, around ovens and grills and lighters, all of those things, right? So take it easy, stay grounded, avoid unnecessary risks, especially physical ones. As always, listen to your body, protect your energy. And if pay, be extra mindful around the way you're speaking and the way you're moving, move with intention. And use this as a time for resting, for reflection, for emotional awareness. Um, Great exercises like yoga, stretching, walking, those are safer and very supportive ways to, for the energy to help the energy to move. So again, just don't push your body beyond what is ready for. If you're going to push your body, if you're going to add the extra weights, wait 2 weeks and then you do it. Um, but like, I probably say this in every video I create, not there's no such thing as one astrological configuration that only carries risks. There's always potential for expansion and growth. So with this energy, this carries such an immense power for redirection. Mars helps us to break patterns, to break free from anything that's outdated patterns, behaviors, things in our relationships that no longer align with, our truth and where we want to go and who we want to be. So one great question for all of us is how are my current actions, that's Mars, our actions, aligned with my long-term vision, which is a very Saturnian thing, my vision, my ambition, my goals. And if it brings Neptune to this, are my current actions aligned with a greater spiritual truth? So our actions, our desires, our willpower, those things are very Martian, right? We all have a Mars somewhere. We all take action. We all have ambitions and desires and in our goals. And Saturn is how we make them happen. So the structures and the integrity and all of it. And Neptune brings the element of the soul and the spirit and the divine wisdom. So when we have these three coming together, especially as, Saturn and Neptune are together in the sign of Aries, Mars rules Aries. So this is a very, very potent alignment that invites us deep recalibration. So you may feel this urge to rebel, to break the mold, to walk away from things, maybe. And that's not bad. Um, so it's important to see what's coming up, to be aware what's coming up for you, and see if there are places where you might be reacting impulsively and see if there's a chance or anything that needs to be reconditioned, needs to be reprogrammed, needs to be realigned from a place of consciousness, from a place of reflection, from a place of you really knowing what you need and where you are. So at its highest level of intention here, we're talking about aligning our actions, Mars, with divine order, which is Saturn and Neptune. Release what no longer serves, what is misaligned, what's out of integrity, what is energetically draining, what is false, and channel that ambition into something that is authentic to you, that is meaningful to you. This might lead to conflicts that you must face, but let you face them. And this is so important in the name of truth, not just ego and reacting and defending and blaming. So see if the relationships, the connections, um, are furthering separation and division. Is it you versus them type of thing, or is there a way to work together? Maybe there will be, maybe there won't be, and that's okay. So this is such a powerful moment to reclaim our truth in our relationships and all of our relationships. And if there is something toxic, if there's something misaligned, this can be that moment to end with clarity and self-respect. And maybe it's ending the pattern, not necessarily ending the relationship, but maybe there's something that needs to be break free from and ended and discarded so something in more in alignment can there's space for that to come into fruition, right? So this might be a time that you'll feel like you need to take some space, set boundaries. Um, you're the one who knows what's really, really truth for you. So be safe, take good care of yourself because your presence, your heart, your truth are essential in this world. So take really good care of your physical body as well. And I will see you on the other side of it.